corals we have here tonight, at least 90% of them came from members' tanks. The members like yourselves who have bred them or propagated them and did their cuttings, and they donated them to the club. And that's what it's about, because the future is going to come down the line, the way the decimation of the reefs are happening, you're not going to get certain corals anymore. They're just not going to be available. And the only place they may be available is in hobbyist tanks or in the institutions like the New York Aquarium. And as much as the aquariums have the capacity, I feel there's a greater capacity in the home hobbyist tanks. They're the ones that can afford the expensive new equipment, and they're the ones who try a lot of new ideas out on how to keep these different corals in different ways. And I know Bruce Carlson's going to get into that. He has a whole deal going. He has various different hobbyists that he knows propagating corals and sustaining them. And we're all behind that, you know. Like I said, it's the future of the hobby. Guys like Dick Perriman we had last year, much of his wholesale operation works out of propagated corals. Very few, as a matter of fact, there's many species of corals he don't import anymore. He can just propagate them and keep them going. And that's what it's going to be. Getting corals from the reef is going to be a thing from the past. One by one, each country is shutting down their reefs. One by one, they're shutting down the live rock. It's up to the hobbyists to keep the corals going and to find out better and new ways to keep the corals reproducing. And many of you have done that. And the New York Aquarium, if you don't know that, and this letter tells about it, they have a coral culture lab. And it's a tremendous lab, and it's still being worked on, but they're going in the right direction. And I feel we should support them any way you can. You can support them by joining the aquarium. They have wonderful exhibits, and I know since Lou's taken over, tremendous things have been done in the aquarium. A lot of new exhibits have been opened up, and the aqua theater's been enlarged 3 times bigger. And you'll have a good time with your family if you come out here. So by coming down and joining the aquarium and paying your admission to come in, you'll enjoy and be supporting a good cause. And with that said, we'll introduce our speaker. Bruce, I guess I met you in Toronto. You spoke in Toronto Magna. And by far, you were very pleasant. Everybody came up to you and spoke to you, everybody a time. And I thought you were one of the best speakers I've ever heard, to be honest with you. And as you know, Bruce came all the way from Waikiki, and we're grateful that you brought some sunshine and warmth with you. My only fear is you're going to take it back with you when you leave on Sunday. So if it gets cold again, you know, Bruce took it back with him. But let's hear a warm, loud ovation for Bruce Carlson, all from Hawaii.
Thank you very much, Seth, for the introduction. Can you all hear me? Can you all see me? Stand up. Well, the first thing I'd like to do is thank the Brooklyn Aquarium Society, all of you, and Seth for arranging my visit out here today. It's been 26 years since my first visit to the New York Aquarium and to New York City, for that matter. I certainly don't get out this way very often, and it's a lot of fun. It's a real treat to come back again. So thank you very much for the invitation, and hopefully I can pay you back a bit tonight with some of the slides and the talk that I'm giving. And I also want to thank Terry Siegel, who's been dragging me around town, being chauffeur for the past day or so. Thank you very much. And Greg Scheimer, I don't know, is Greg around yet?
He's on his way.
He's on his way, okay. I did bring some corals from the Waikiki Aquarium, which may be a part of the raffle tonight if Greg makes it. And I don't think he was quite prepared for 65 little fragments of coral to be dumped in a sump.
Still bagging them.
He's still bagging them. So, anyway, this evening, before I get started, let me just tell you what I'm going to talk about. You have people here who are certainly far more experienced than I in maintaining closed system reef aquariums and all the gadgets and gizmos and so forth, and that's really not my bag. So if you want to know exactly what protein skimmer or calcium reactor versus calcwasser or something like that, don't ask me, because we're primarily an open system aquarium. But we have a lot of techniques that we've used for propagating corals, which are certainly applicable to any aquarium system, be it a closed system like you may have at home or a public aquarium. Or even for researchers out in the field. So I'm going to share with you some of the techniques that we've developed. Coral is a lot more readily accessible at a lower cost in Hawaii, so we've been able to experiment with things over the years and break them up and so forth, and it doesn't really cost any money. So I'll share those with you tonight in the slides. Now, normally I only bring one tray of slides. Tonight I've got one and about 20 extras, so we're going to talk for a while. Might as well just get right into it. With that, we get the lights and the camera. I wish it was.
Everybody see that?
Gee, I can't see it. I'm going to have to stand on my head here to give you this talk. Well, I basically know what the slides are. This is a scene in the Solomon Islands where we've done a lot of collecting and diving in recent years. And I've been taking a lot of reef shots because it's certainly possible to create a reef habitat that looks like that. And towards the end of my talk tonight, I'll show you various reef habitats and some of the corals that are associated with those habitats. And I know there's a lot of interest in knowing what corals go in what area and so forth. And many of you have not had the opportunity to go out to the South Pacific. So with some of the shots, we'll show you some of the species that co-occur. Anyway, this is one of our exhibits at the aquarium, just to give you an idea, that, and many of you already know, that it's certainly possible to keep a wide variety of corals. And we also know the old books, even just 10 or 15 years ago, used to say that corals couldn't be kept in captivity.